What's up? How's everybody doing, huh? We doing good today? It's good to be back. Where you guys at today? Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. We had someone from Iowa. It's pretty cool. Yeppy, I know who that is. What is up? How's it going, Lunas Designs? Good to see you here. What's up, Pup Style? We got Seoul, Korea. Seen you before, Robbie. I remember you. Montreal, the Philippines. Gina, what's going on? We got Fort Myers, Washington, Maryland. The Queen City. I don't know where the Queen City is. I don't get that reference. Kansas. What's up, John? Where are you at in Kansas? South Carolina, Singapore, Pakistan. What is up from Pakistan? Welcome. How's it going? Great to be at another Shine On webinar. All right. Bowling Green, Kentucky, Belgium. Hey, we got two people from Montreal. How about that? Bangladesh, Leavenworth, not the prison. I'm in Kansas City, John. So what is up? Morocco. Good to see everybody. Hope you're ready to learn. This is going to be a fun one today. It's probably going to be a little quicker than normal. I'm probably going to eat those words because I can't seem to do one of these that lasts less than 2 hours. So we'll see. But anyway, we're going to be talking about the 5 takeaways, the 5 lessons from over $400 million in POD sales today. Let me get it up. Get that up. There we go. Let me slideshow. All right. The 5 lessons from over 400 million in POD sales. Now, let's talk about this real quick. So this is, first of all, the graphic design team took my mug and they put me on an old guy's body. I don't. How do I look? Anyway, so the $400 million here. This is GMV. That stands for gross merchandising sales. So this is how much Shine On merchants have sold. It's actually over $400 million since we started. I don't know exactly what the number is. I didn't look it up before this. We used to actually have a counter on our website. I don't know if any of you remember that, where the counter would literally tick up as people made sales. And that was pretty cool. But I don't know. We retired the code on that for some reason. We don't have that anymore. But we've done over $400 million in gross merchandise sales. So that's the retail price you all sell it for. So it's not really counting the amount that we collect. It's the amount that you all collect. Now, that's revenue and not profit. I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. And, I'm certain, just to be totally honest and transparent here, I'm certain that some amount of these sales were made unprofitably, right, by some individuals. At the same time, there are definitely individuals making profits. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we kind of get into it here. All right. So, just looking at the comments, looks funny. Yeah, I thought so too. It's fun though. The graphic design team does a great job for us. I'm not poking fun. I just thought it was funny when so I'm like, that is not my body. Something is off here. Someone says I'm stuck at $1. I'm hoping that what I share today will help you get unstuck from $1. Okay, let's get moving here. We are going to do some Q&A at the end of this. So I'm going to try to rip through the content pretty quick and then have a little time for Q&A. So think about some questions here as we get through the content, and I'll try to answer them. Let's get to our swag winners first. Lunas Finds, you're in here today. I know you're in here. I saw you earlier. Congratulations. Lunas Finds shared a AI generated image here. It's pretty cool. So I've been playing around with ChatGPT, brainstorming ideas, and pretty cool what it can do with the correct prompts and directions. Always double and triple check because it makes mistakes. You can see the chain is missing, right? Many spelling mistakes, nothing that can't be fixed with Canva. Still awesome. I can't imagine in a few years time what we'll be able to do with AI. This is really neat, and you'll be able to generate all kinds of like UGC style mockups, etc. I think with existing AI tools, I mean, honestly, what you could have done even was just have AI generate the box with like a blank message card and the necklace on a chain, and you could have gone in and just added the messages behind the chain, or you could have even just had it do the jewelry box and then gone in over the top of it with the chain and the message. So that like in 3 different layers. And you can get those individual graphic elements out of Canto, right? So you wouldn't even have to go in necessarily and try to crop out the chain and stuff like that yourself. So super freaking cool. I don't know if you all saw, but just this morning, even in the Facebook group, I put an image of a Shine On NASCAR. Let me pull this up here real quick. And the only reason I'm sharing this is not necessarily because it's relevant to, how do I, come on, did it work? Yeah. The only reason I'm sharing this is not necessarily because it's relevant to, generating message cards, but it is relevant to using AI to generate images. And what I did here was I just uploaded a bunch of Shine On logos to ChatGPT, and I said, "Hey, put these on a NASCAR for me, and let's pretend we sponsored a NASCAR." And it came back with this. And the reason I'm sharing it is because for those of you that are not paying attention or not keeping up on where things are at with AI, it is progressing really, really quick, and you're going to be able to do some cool stuff really soon. At any rate, thank you so much for sharing this, Lunas. This is amazing. You have got some swag coming your way. Someone's going to reach out to you with a discount code. You can go to shineonmerch.com and pick up a t-shirt or a mug or whatever you want from our merch store. So I hope you enjoy that. All right. Next, Ashley White. You've got some swag coming your way. Hi, Shine On community. We're in Quentin and Ashley, couple behind Q&A Chronicles. We're so excited to be here. We're a husband and wife team, faith-based family, focused on helping people turn their gifts and ideas into meaningful business. Parents to our 4 amazing daughters, balancing business family is going to be a big part of our journey. We're currently expanding our brand into POD, working on designs that share hope, purpose, and a bit of our family's humor and faith. We're here to learn, share ideas, support others as the community as we grow. So congrats. You've got some swag coming your way. Hopefully you'll enjoy that when it gets here. Stay tuned. Keep an eye on your Facebook messages because we're going to send over a discount code to pick up something from our merch store. So how about that? All right. If you want some free swag, just share. We're really looking for tips, tricks. The AI thing was awesome. Screenshots of revenue milestones, your first sale, stuff like that. Put that in the Facebook group and we'll feature it here. And if we do, you'll get some free swag. All right. Latest news. For those of you that don't know, we have an iPhone app now. How about that? Did anybody miss the announcement that we have an iPhone app now? Huh? Let me know in the comments if this is the first time you're hearing that we have an iPhone app. So it's really cool too. So it looks like this. See that Pod U icon right there? You click that and it loads, and it's beautiful. Honestly, it's a beautiful app. And what I really like about it is that it's great for all of the walkthroughs and stuff. So I'm just going to pull one up here, start Shine On walkthrough. It's got like the course stuff in here, and you just click into it. And now you can take the education, the courses, all that stuff right here in your app. Let me make this bigger just so you can see it here. Anyway, I think that's super cool because what a better way to learn than to maybe have this up on your app and then be working on your computer at something at the same time. So just super freaking cool. If you don't have this yet, the app is totally free. You need to go download it. You can find it in the App Store. Just search for Pod University. I should probably figure that out. What is it? Pod University. We're going to pull it up in the App Store real quick. I suppose it's probably on the slide. My team is probably shouting at their computers. It's on the slide, Michael. It's not on the slide, actually. So POD, is it university? We're going to find out for you right now. Yeah, okay. POD University is what you're going to want to type in the iPhone app, right, to find it. POD University. On my screen here, this is backwards. Hopefully it's not backwards for you all. But POD University, same thing for the Play Store or whatever. So go check that out. Super cool. Like I said, it's free. You can also access all the community elements there too. So if you want to go, chat with people or whatever, we tried to make it as easy as possible. So hopefully you enjoy that. The Final Trumpet says first time hearing about it. Pup says it was the first time hearing about it. Jewel, first time. Well, that's awesome. You guys should go in there, check it out. Hopefully you enjoy it. All right. Very cool. Okay. Let's keep going here. Next, we're launching some new color accent mugs. These go live today. They're freaking beautiful mugs. Check them out. I mean, they're freaking beautiful. And as always, we bring you probably the best renders in the entire freaking business here with the mugs. Now, I can tell you these mugs are fulfilled through a partner of ours, but they're awesome. They're super fast, super high quality prints. You're going to order one of these, or a customer is going to order one of these. They're going to go out within like a day or two. I mean, these are the top of the line fulfillment partner, top of the line quality here. You can feel very confident selling this to your customer base. And, Luna's Fine says, nice colors. Yeah, the colors are beautiful. They're just beautiful mugs. So anyway, if you are selling to an audience that you think would buy some mugs, you should check these out. I'm going to give you a little tip here real quick. Mugs are really incredible post-purchase sales on necklaces, believe it or not. One year I did kind of a tear with some necklaces, and I got about a 40% take rate on the mugs. Your mileage may vary, but with a mug with the right message, compare really well with a necklace item. The trick, though, if it's a post-purchase, the trick is you got to make it cheap, right? You got to make it cheap, which should be fine because you've already paid to acquire the customer, right? You're not trying to make up tons of profit here. Anyway, yeah, hope you enjoy those. Okay, let's go to the next. If you ever feel like you miss anything, check the feature tab in the Facebook group. Also inside of Pod U, you can go to the announcements and changelog here, and we try to keep you updated there. All the cool stuff we have going on. All right, you guys ready? Rock and roll? Huh? You guys ready for the toast? Oh, no. Broke my Michael swag mug this morning. I've got another one, though. Okay, well, I'm glad you got a backup. It's probably an important area of your life to have some redundancy, if you ask me, your Michael mug. But that is a tragedy. Hopefully that's not like a bad omen for me. Hopefully I'm not about to have a bad weekend or something like that. That would be bad. All right. Okay. Let's do the toast. If you've never done the toast, prepare to live. It is magical. It's powerful. I tell everybody it lowers CPMs. It gets people in the buying mood. Inflation's going to come down. Who knows? Government might cut some stimulus checks soon. And those stimulus checks, they fly out the door when people get them. They buy all kinds of cool stuff online. So that's what you want. Raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, and flasks. Join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheaper CPMs and lower CACs, higher CTRs, much higher CVRs to enable ad accounts and big bank accounts, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sales. They're the thing that everybody knows. The riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. You ready, everybody? Cheers. All right, wait for it. If you're getting tinglies right now, it's the toast. Don't be alarmed. It's the toast. Let us know in the chat. Check your phone if you're running ads. You may have just got sales. Maybe you got a text message with some good news. I bet you somewhere out there is a debt collector. So like in a really bad mood, about to call somebody, and he goes, you know what? No. How about Jubilee? How about forgiveness? And just deletes debt right out of a cell on a spreadsheet. You're not getting a phone call anymore. Huh? Maybe you just got a random deposit in your bank account from some sweepstakes you entered a year ago and you forgot about. That kind of stuff happens during the toast. I'm telling you it does. I'm telling you it does. Cheers, everybody. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into the content. Keep in mind, it's going to go a little bit faster than normal for me anyway. And I'm going to have some Q&A at the end of it. So as I go through these points, these takeaways, these lessons from $400 million in sales, I want you thinking of questions, right? And I am here to serve. So quick reminder, this is 400 million in GMV. So that's the retail price that you all sell for and is not company revenue. And also it's a revenue figure. It's not a profit figure. And I'm just being totally transparent. I want everybody to understand that going into it. Okay. All right. So takeaway number one is that a tiny set of phrases drives the bulk of all the sales. And if you've spent any time in our space and you've done like any type of product research, you kind of probably know that this is true, right? Because you see the same phrases kind of like bubbling up over and over and over again. And sometimes the phrases are tweaked. Sometimes they're presented a little differently. Sometimes people do what I call phrase flipping, where they, not phrase flipping, but they tweak the niche, right? Niche spinning is what we call it sometimes, where they like, originally the phrase was for to my wife, and then it becomes to my future wife, to my soulmate, to my girlfriend, to my fiance. It gets kind of like tweaked and spun around. But typically, sometimes the phrases get paraphrased a little bit. So like you'll read it and you'll be like, hey, I kind of recognize elements of that because some of the key words are still there. But the phrase itself has been altered a little bit. But a tiny set of phrases tends to drive the bulk of all the sales, right? Of all the sales. For those of you that do love product research, like it's probably a vice of mine. Like I love doing the phrase research and stuff. I spend hours and hours and hours on that. For some reason, it's just a part of the process I really enjoy. For those of you that are a little bit of a research junkie like me, how many of you know this to be true? That a tiny set of phrases tend to drive the bulk of all the sales. Tell me if you feel like that's true from the research that you have done on Etsy or Facebook or in the spy tools or just what you've seen presented even in Facebook. A tiny set of phrases tend to drive the bulk of all the sales. Tell me if that rings true to you. Pup says yes. Stephanie says 100%. Jules says yes. I've got a delay here between me and you, so I don't always see your comments right away. Yes, crimes against humanity. Yes, from Angela. Yeah, like you'll notice this across the board. So this is something you should probably write down. A tiny set of phrases drive the bulk of the sales. A bulk of the sales. So it's important to understand something that I call the trend loop, right? And so the way the trend loop works is, someone tests a phrase and they start getting sales, right? And this is in the trend loop here. This is what I call the emergent stage, right? So they're testing a phrase, they're starting to get sales. That product, that phrase is in this emergent stage, right? And as they spend more money and the CAC comes down and their account gets kind of dialed in by the algorithm, they start to scale that, right? And it takes some different lengths of time, but typically I think products kind of peak between like 2 weeks and 3 months from the emergent stage. And over the 2 weeks to 3 month time period, it eventually peaks. So it goes from an emergent phrase to something somebody's scaling, and it peaks, right? So it reaches kind of the top of the bell curve of sales. And usually when it peaks, this is when it starts showing up on everybody else's radar, right? And this is where the copycats will come in. Now, most copycats will not have traction on a product that peaks. Most of them don't. However, some of them do, right? So you might have 1, 2, 3 copycats that are able to take that particular product and they're getting some sales and they're kind of profitable. They're never as successful as the original person, right, that started testing the phrase. They're never that successful, right? But they might make enough to keep kind of going. And what that does is it creates saturation. So you go from a product or a phrase that is kind of emergent, it's emerging in its popularity, right, and its sales, and then it peaks, right? So it hits the top of the bell curve in sales because the original seller is scaling it to the moon. And right around the time it peaks, other copycats come in, and then that product goes to saturated, right? And as it goes to saturated, this is when it starts to fizzle and die because you get price pressure. People start undercutting each other. The market for the most part has seen it. Like most of the buyers have seen it. And so the customer acquisition cost starts to increase on the product. And eventually that product goes dormant, right? So it goes emergent to peaking to saturated to dormant, right? That's the trend loop. Now, when it's dormant, usually what happens is that phrase for a little while gets shelved. And the cycle starts over again with another phrase, if that makes sense, right? Now, if you take what I just said, this takeaway here, there's actually something very valuable to learn. So a tiny set of phrases drive the bulk of the sales. What the trend loop says and what our takeaway says is that those phrases that go dormant come back again later. Are you with me? Most of the time, our phrase research, our product research is spent trying to find things that are popping now. You're looking for those emergent products now, right? That are already on their way up. But what I'm suggesting to you is that it could be just as valuable to try to find products that have already gone through the cycle and are now dormant, because those are ones that are ripe to come back, right? With a small tweak, with enough time to pass between, maybe paired with a new product, maybe in a different niche, right? So dormant phrases, like there's a lot of gold in there. You guys with me on this? Is this making sense? Everybody tracking with me? I know it's a little abstract. Everybody I did draw this out the other day. Maybe I'll pull it up real quick. Everybody with me on this? Is this making sense? Let me know if this is making sense to y'all. Let me know if this is making sense, and I'll try to pull up the picture I drew of this the other day because I was trying to find the right way to conceptualize this. Here, let me pull this up. See if I can do it. Can you see that? That's the trend loop right there. Yeah? I wonder if I can share this as a screen. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Yes, absolutely. Makes sense. Good. All right. How do I do this? Extended. Here we go. All right, let's see if this works. Share. See if I can share this. Uh-oh, I don't know if I can. Huh, yeah, okay. For some reason I can't. I don't know why. It won't let me share my iPad. For some reason. Okay, well anyway, I tried. Figure that out later. But at any rate, you guys are following me in principle. So the idea is when you're doing your product research, don't just focus on the items that are emergent and about to peak. Also, try to find things that have proven track records of sales in the past and pull them out of dormancy, right? That's kind of the idea here. So everybody's following me on that. Okay, great. Let's go to takeaway number 2. The same 2 niches are almost always on the top. The same 2 niches are always on the top. Anybody want to guess what those are? The same 2 niches are always on the top. What are they? Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess? What are the 2 niches that are always on the top. Someone says mother and daughter. Love and something. Love. I don't really consider love a niche. To my mom, pets. Wife and daughter, Lindy's got it. Lindy, you get some swag. Let's get Lindy a discount code for some swag. Maybe a little Shine Cash too. How's $50 in Shine Cash for Lindy here? So it's wife and daughter. Wife and daughter, these same two niches are basically on the top all year long. Now, there is some fluctuation, right? Like I'm taking kind of a global view at this. I'm zooming out, looking at the whole year. And wife and daughter kind of dominate the whole year. And they tend to sell every month of the year. But there are occasions where, you know, there's a little bit of slippage, like Mother's Day, for example, you see a little slippage. But even in Mother's Day, the wife and daughter niches are still really, really strong, right? So the majority of the sales, not all of them, okay? The majority of the sales seem to be wife and daughter. Wife and daughter. So like if you're targeting wife and daughter, you can't go wrong, right? You can't go wrong. Now, you may have heard us talk about reverse targeting before. Does anybody remember what reverse targeting is? Let me know in the chat. Does anybody remember what reverse targeting is? It's been a little while since I've talked about it. Reverse targeting. Reverse targeting. You might even be able to figure out what it is just by, you know, kind of thinking about the term reverse targeting. What is that? If you remember, let me know in the chat. If you remember, let me know in the chat. Reverse targeting. Does anybody remember what reverse targeting is? Reverse from wife to sell to. There we go. You got it. Good job, man. It's been a little while since I've talked about that. Yeah. So it's reverse targeting is this idea that you know, if you're selling to wives or daughters, you have to ask yourself, who is the buyer? Who is the buyer? Right? And then you have to target the buyer. So we call it reverse targeting. Even though you're in the to my wife niche, really you're selling to husbands. Everybody with me? And when you're brand new, that can kind of mess with your brain a little bit. So takeaway number 3 is that men are the primary buyers. Men are the primary buyers. Some of you right now are going, oh. Some of you are having a bit of a revelation right now because you're selling jewelry and you can come to this with a preconceived notion about who buys jewelry. And in your brain, because you do pattern matching, you're going to think that a lot of people think it's mostly women that buy jewelry. Well, it is definitely mostly females that wear the jewelry, for sure. But according to our data, with the the wife and daughter niche in particular, men are the buyers. Men are the buyers. So who are you targeting in your ads? Men. Who are you building your website for? Men. Now think about that for a minute. What does that mean about your store? Should you be using, you know, pinks and pastel colors and stuff? Or should you be, I'm kind of, just track with me for a minute. Like the point I'm trying to make is you have to build your store to appeal to men. If men are the buyers. You guys with me? And you gotta, from a psychological point of view in your marketing, you gotta think differently. What do men care about when they're making a purchase? Do they care about how a necklace is going to dress up in the evening? No, man. You know what men are looking for when they make a purchase like this? Price, discount, how quick it's going to get here. It's all the logistical like stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody with me? Some of you, some of you are having it. You're going, oh, Yeah. Yes. Luna says, when I started, as the angle I want to take, my brain was always referring to the buyer. You might have a marketing background if that's the case. Because like as a marketer, I do that by default, right? I'm always thinking about, I'm like, who's got my money, right? And that's the person I'm thinking about. But if you don't come to this with a marketing background, it's a little tricky, right? It can mess you up in your mind. Matt says, will it save their marriage after that Coldplay concert? Yeah. Dude, what is with that image? That thing is everywhere. There's like a scandal right now where some tech billionaire was having an affair with his head of HR. That I almost feel like there's some kind of weird like conspiratorial like hit taking place on this guy right now, because like who's shocked that a billionaire is cheating on their wife? Who's shocked by that? Like that doesn't even seem newsworthy to me. But it's all over the place right now. Anyways, yeah, maybe he's a prime guy you could be targeting with some shine on jewelry. You know, there was a popular phrase that said like, I'm sorry. And there was a big phrase about like a husband apologizing to their wife for something horrible, apparently. But it actually sold. It sold pretty well. Maybe we should try to hit this guy with some ads. Do him a solid, huh? Yeah. Anyway. Oh, man. All right. So a small set of phrases drive the bulk of the sales. The wife and the daughter niche are kind of on top, like at a macro level all year long. And men are the primary buyers. Everybody with me? Are you getting value out of this? Let me know in the chat if you're getting some value out of this. Are you with me? Now would be a great time, if you're on YouTube, to like the video. Make sure you're commenting on YouTube. I would appreciate that very much. Helps us in the algorithm. Everybody's with me. Getting value. Value for sure. All right, great. Okay. All right. Takeaway number 4 coming up. Premium brand experiences seem to be becoming table stakes. Now, I need to hedge this slightly. So, I don't want anybody to get it discouraged, if you don't have the best, like the most put together brand, right? That like if you hear this point and you get discouraged, it's not landing right. So just bear with me a moment. Like 5-6 years ago, you could put like a winning phrase, a winning product on just about any site, and it would kind of sell. Like the site could be ugly. The site could be filled with like drop shipping apps and widgets. Like, I mean, do you guys all remember Wheelio? Wheelio is that thing where like when you tried to exit the store, you'd get this slide out. It looked like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and you would spin and you could win a discount, right? Like sites used to feel like that. They used to feel like these little theme parks almost. There'd be countdown timers. You get the pop-ups every time somebody bought something. It's like, Jill in New York City bought this product 17 minutes ago. Like that kind of stuff. Like, and then the site overall didn't have to be put together very well. Like you'd get like a logo with a clip art icon on it. There'd be typos. Sometimes pages would be broken. I mean, that kind of thing. 5 or 6 years ago, you could actually present that to the world. And if you had a winning product on your product page, you could still sell and make bank or do a lot of revenue. Anyway, I don't think that's the case anymore. There's kind of some story here. I mean, I think when COVID hit, people went nuts selling stuff online. I think a lot of people got ripped off. Like the buyer has become more sophisticated over the years. So like, I definitely think that's part of what has happened here. The buyers become more sophisticated. But I also think that with the immersion of AI, the standards have also increased, right? Because it is a lot easier to put together a really good looking brand with AI than it ever has been in the past. I mean, AI can literally do all the thinking for you. It can put together your color palette, your font pairs for like all your typography. It can help you identify your avatar. It can help you build like a tone of voice guide that is specific to your. It can do all of this stuff that like big professional brands spend tons of time on. It can do it for you, in a couple hours of iteration. And because of that, like at least this is what I'm observing. I'm seeing more and more brands that like they just feel a lot more put together than they have been in the past, right? So it feels like, and I want to highlight becoming is the word here, because I'm not sure we're there yet, but it's feeling like we're entering this world where like those like kind of put together, coherent, more premium brand experiences are becoming normal, right? So this is a little bit of a prediction of mine. I could be way off on this, right? Like, trust me, I still see stores that don't necessarily match this criteria doing well, right? So like that's still happening. It just feels like the world is moving this direction, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to say here. I will tell you that the last couple years, some of our biggest sellers have like really well put together brands. Like they just feel really good when you visit their site and you experience it. Like if you put yourself in a buyer's shoes and you go to the site, like it's just different. I don't quite know how to describe it, but it just feels like the standard is going up in this space. Everybody with me on this? There's no reason to feel discouraged. If you're feeling discouraged now, I'm not doing the greatest job communicating. It just feels like this is the world we're headed to. The encouraging part is with a $20 a month ChatGPT subscription, like you could do the same thing. I mean, ChatGPT is amazing for building really great brand concepts, right? So this is the direction I think we're headed, right? This is the direction I think we're headed. We're probably not totally there yet, but I do think we're getting there. And AI gives you this unprecedented level of leverage, right? Everybody with me? Everybody with me? Someone says agree. Wait, the game wheel still works. It probably does. The wheelio thing. Honestly, it probably does. Some of the stuff I described probably worked. I mean, urgency still works. It's just like as the market becomes more sophisticated, like there's a intuition people have developed around like scammy stuff, right? And if you're not careful, you'll start tripping alarms for buyers, right? And it's definitely different than it used to be. I mean, it just used to be you could just put all of that shit on your site and it almost like wouldn't phase people. It's not that way anymore, for sure, for sure. All right. Okay. I tried the other day to pull font and color patterns on something. It was crazy. Crazy good, crazy bad. I will tell you that I have used ChatGPT to build 4 brands now, 3 brands, 4 brands, something like that. And they're freaking amazing, man. Like I will go to ChatGPT. Look, I'm a masochist. I'm an entrepreneur. I think of business ideas all the time. I'll go to ChatGPT just to mock something up. And ChatGPT's mock-ups will be so good. I like buy into an idea that I was just iffy on 2 seconds ago. So it can be dangerous too. All right. Anyway, okay, let's keep going. Okay, takeaway number 5. Right? Top selling merchants all do one thing. Can anybody guess what it is? Takeaway number 5. Top selling merchants all do one thing. What do you think it is? Top selling merchants all do one big thing. Dude, is this not centered up? Oh my gosh. None of my text is centered up on the slide. You don't understand that. I can't. That is not going to fly. What is going on here? Why isn't that centered up? It says it's centered up. It sure didn't look like it, does it? Let me know in the chat here. What do you think top selling merchants do? That doesn't look centered up to me. Anyway, I'm touching on a little PTSD I have from a former boss of mine that would just freaking lose his mind if your slides weren't like pixel perfect. Anyway, upsells. Yeah, probably pray. That's a funny one. Ads. Well, yeah, I mean, any top selling merchant is probably running ads. Research, of course. Testing, that's a great one. Absolutely. That's 1,000% right. You're all kind of right here. It's not the answer I'm looking for, but you're all right about all this stuff. Research and test, research, follow up. Follow up's a great one. It's a great one. Do more ads. Yes. Here we go. They treat it like a real business. This is the answer I'm looking for. Every top selling merchant that I have seen, like, this is not a hobby. This is not something that they just play around in. It's not something they're just having fun with. Like, they want to build a profitable business, and they put their blinders on and they say no to shiny objects, and they lean into this as a skill, right? And they consume lots of education on like YouTube or articles or case studies on how to increase conversions. They'll invest in their own education. They'll get coaching, right? They reach out, like, I mean, they're resourceful, and, you know, they don't really take no as an answer a lot of times. And I'm struggling with how to say this part, but it's like they reach out to the people that know what they're doing, and they pick their brain. They don't ask for permission first. They just do it, right? They're very high agency in that respect, but they treat it like a real business, right? And like, that's really the takeaway I want you to hear. They treat it like a real business. Matt Baugh has one of my favorite stories in this, where Matt said, you know, when he decided to really double and triple down on Shine On, he went into his inbox and he unsubscribed from every newsletter he was subscribed to that didn't have something to do with print on demand, right? And that is the kind of like laser focus they bring to this. There's another merchant I know of that has been a top merchant for a number of years, and I was like kind of talking to them, and, you know, they were telling me how they just embrace the grind. They just embrace the grind of it. You know, they get up every morning, do their research, you know, build their stuff, do their testing, and like, that's the majority of the work. Like, most of the time, that's what they're doing on a daily basis. It's not scaling. The scaling is great. The scaling is great, but most of the time, like, the scaling is a small part of the time. Most of the time, they're doing the work, right? But they're treating it like a real business. You know, they're monitoring all their KPIs. They're monitoring their budgets. They're tracking how things perform, right? And they bring a level of seriousness to the business that I know aids their success, right? And that's why that's why I'm zooming in on this one, because if you come at this like it's a hobby, if you come at this like it's fun or just like a little creative outlet for you, that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Okay. I'm just saying that our top merchants treat it differently. Like, they're like professional sports players or something like that. Like, they have routines and whole regimens around being successful here. Everybody with me on this? Is this making sense? Let me know in the chat if this is making sense. Let me know in the chat if this is making sense. And we're going to do Q&A in a minute, so start thinking of questions. I've been learning the past few weeks. Luna says I might be doing something wrong. I've been doing this, pretty hardcore for 2 years, and I can't seem to get there. Lunas, it might be good to talk. I'd be happy to talk with you maybe on the side and see if I can help you out. To zoom in on Lunas for a minute, this is some people's experience. Like, look, to be successful in this print on demand space, it takes time, energy, focus. You do have to treat it like it's a skill. I mean, like, a lot of people think that you're going to be able to like go out on the golf course and hit a hole in one or something like that with print on demand. It's not like that at all. It's like most of your time you're just trying to get the ball closer to the hole. That's all you're doing, and print on demand is the same way. It's a skill, and it takes time to kind of build the skill. But there's another element too in print on demand a lot of people don't talk about, and that is it probably takes a little bit of luck, right? Like you kind of got to be prolific, test a lot, and sometimes you strike gold, right? But there's kind of a luck component there. And even if you do everything right, it doesn't necessarily guarantee success. Nothing in life does, I mean, honestly. But it's important for everybody to realize that. But Lunas, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to maybe talk to you and see if I can help. Making sense, certainly making sense, 100%. Yep. Winners never quit, quitters never win. That's right. Makes sense. I'm in a slump. Well, you tuned in the right place then. Yes. All right. Get ready for some Q&A. I'd like to hear your questions. We're going to do a little bit of Q&A, and then we will wrap this up. Okay. Do you recommend selling all the different kinds of products China offers on one store? I don't think I would. I'd pick a niche, and then what I'd probably try to do until you have some traction is try to stick to one product category. The print on demand jewelry, if you're into that kind of thing, can be a great place, right? Because jewelry is kind of a perennial seller. There's always a gifting occasion for it. From our data, we know it sells really well. That kind of thing. If you want to go more like the gift, like just a giftable route, you could potentially take some inspiration from stores like a Gosby or Trending Custom and do like some blend of like acrylic type items, maybe some canvas, things like that. But I would try not to branch out too much. Like I try to stay within a product category just to keep your store cohesive, but to also keep your design skills kind of on point and things like that. I think as you get sales and you get traction under your belt, you can expand, right? But I think to start, try to keep things simple. I usually would tell people pick one platform, like an Etsy, a Facebook, a TikTok, something like that. Pick one product category, like message card jewelry, and pick one niche. And like if you can, try to kind of stay laser focused in that space till you hit some success, and then branch, right? Okay. I've known about Shine On only since last week. I'm very excited about it. That's awesome. Super happy to have you here. How did you learn about us? I'd love to know how you heard about us. Be obsessed or be average. That's right. I actually have that in my email signature. It's Shine On. Let's see. It takes money and ads. Can it really be done without spending money on marketing? Sometimes there's just no money to get ads out, even with the great SEO. So we do have many merchants that sell on Etsy and have like moderate amounts of success on Etsy. So Etsy is a platform where most of your sales are like kind of organic. Now you do have to pay the piper. Etsy wants kind of their cut, but Etsy is a place you can go and sell without having to pay for ads. Another thing I've heard of people experimenting with are places like eBay, Facebook, Marketplace, and some other, kind of like fragmented marketplaces where you can sell without ads. I personally have not seen anybody have a ton of success with just SEO. Just being totally frank and honest with you on that. I have seen people do like B2B sales. So like they actually call places and they try to sell them swag. We had a merchant a couple years ago that sold, I think it was acrylic, sold like 200 acrylic signs or something like that to a school district. Don't quote me on that, but it was something like that. So like there's some things like that you can do. You got to get kind of creative. Our top merchants though tend to sell on Facebook and TikTok. I mean, Facebook is kind of the king of scale, and then TikTok. And these direct response marketplaces allow you to test quickly, iterate quickly, and when you hit a winner, you can pop really quickly. And we also have some merchants that sell on Amazon, but they run Amazon ads. So it's a mixed bag. I mean, there are definitely some free places you can go. What you trade, though, on the free marketplaces, you got to invest more time. You typically can't scale as high, right? But they're out there, and you definitely can do it. Okay, hopefully I answered your question. Does free shipping versus charging shipping have noticeable effects on the conversion rate? In our testing, it doesn't. In our testing, you can usually charge up to about $5, and it doesn't seem to impact conversion rate. But look, your mileage may vary, and you kind of got to test it specifically on your store and your niche. Keep in mind that, like, you know, if you're doing to daughter from mom type gifts, that could totally skew everything. Like, moms might be more sensitive to the price on trinket jewelry, and they might be more sensitive to the shipping. If you do to daughter from dad, that's totally different. Like, a dad just doesn't want to have to go to a store. Like, they're willing to pay $5 almost as like a tax just to avoid having to go to a store, right? And to be able to do all their shopping online and in one place. So you've got to test it for your niche. But in our testing, charging for shipping doesn't seem to impact conversion rate. I've spent a lot. My credit card can confirm. All right. I didn't really get takeaway 4. Can you explain it more? Sorry, it's kind of hard. Look, if it's confusing, just skip it. That's what I would say. But really where I was headed is just that the market has changed over the years. And 5 years ago, you could get away with a lot of things you can't get away with anymore. 5 years ago, you could put up any crummy looking store, load it up with apps from the Shopify app store, have every bell and whistle you can imagine on there, have blinking lights and countdown timers and all this fake urgency, and have pop-ups saying that, you know, somebody just bought a product over here, and have exit intent. So like when someone tries to exit the website, they're getting wheelie, all this stuff. Basically, it's like a website just full of stuff, right? And you could have a crappy logo and no trust signals and typos on your page, and like you could still make sales. That 5 or 6 years ago. I'm just saying you can't really do that anymore. It's like the market is becoming more sophisticated, and it's learning, and like the standard for what makes a trustworthy brand seems to be increasing. That's all I'm saying, right? I don't think we're in a place where you have to have like $1 million looking brand. That's not really what I'm saying at all. So don't get intimidated by that. I'm just saying, like, it needs to feel like a safe place for somebody to pull out their credit card and buy something, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if that clears some things up, Vivian. Okay. Is Shinon going to integrate with new Everbee stores? Dude, I just saw that recently. I don't know. I need to research it more. Let me add this to my to-do list. Research Everbee stores. I'll research that and try to figure it out. I did see that they just launched that though, and my interest was definitely piqued. Do you think the description of the jewelry, for instance, gold finish, is a turnoff for sales? I'm not sure I totally follow the question, but probably not. Do you think? Oh, you mean because it's saying it's gold finished and not like it's gold plated, not solid gold? No, I don't. I seriously doubt that's a turnoff for sales. We have merchants succeeding with that all day, every day. I think my answer to that is probably a no. I don't think it's going to turn off sales. It probably also depends a little bit on who the buyer is. You got to keep that in mind. Like, women buying jewelry are going to be more, they're going to scrutinize the product and the price and all that stuff a little bit more. Men are not going to do that. Like, men don't buy jewelry. We have no grid for it. We don't know if Forever Love is a $50 product or a $90 product. We have no freaking clue, right? Like, we're buying out of convenience, right? We're like, hey, I don't have to go to a store. I don't have to pick out a greeting card. I don't have to leave my desk. Like, 5 minutes, wham, bam, throw in a credit card, boom, I got a gift on the way. So it's just, whoever's buying is going to factor into whether or not something like that has any sway at all. But in my experience, kind of throwing a dart, I don't think it's something I would worry about. What ROAS are you seeing with meta ads for jewelry? What is the average cost per purchase? This is, unfortunately, Stephen, this is not a question I can really answer. It's too varied. It's just way too varied. It depends on too many different factors. Anybody here that's currently selling on Facebook, if you want to share this data with Stephen based on kind of what you're seeing right now, feel free. I knew about Shine On through Shopify training from Adrian Morse. Yeah, we love Adrian. Adrian's a great guy. That's awesome. Very cool. Curious, was I in the training? Because I've done a few with him. I'd be curious to know. When can we expect a WooCommerce integration? Not this year. I don't think this is something we're going to be dedicating resources to at the moment. However, we do have our partners store that you can kind of set up, and you can either manually port over orders. We also have an API there. So there's some other ways you could get the orders from WooCommerce into Shine On. I believe you can also upgrade or upload spreadsheets and stuff with it. Okay. Doctor's waiting room, office spaces, hospital corridors, canvases. All right. Can you explain takeaway 4? I think I already helped you on that, Vivian. Let me know if you're still not clear. What are the best niches to focus on for the next 2 or 3 months? I'm building a store right now. I'm going all in on selling to men doing wives and daughters. And it was based on all my research for this presentation. So I'm going after husbands and fathers, basically. And I'm going to be selling primarily in the to my wife and daughter niche. That's what I would do personally. Do you recommend to have Shine On products together with general products from Zindrop? Personally, I wouldn't. Look, there are a few different strategies to this, and I want to be a little bit careful about being dogmatic. And, I don't want to give you the impression there's only one way up the mountain, Personally, I probably wouldn't, though. I think if you build a store that's got like jewelry on it, plus drop ship widgets from Zindrop, all you're going to do is cheapen the perception of the jewelry, is what I think will probably happen. Keep in mind, like, you got to think of what it's like when you go buy from a store online. I seriously doubt you go to a store that's just loaded with a bunch of junk. And I'm not counting like an Amazon here. I'm thinking of a brand, right? Usually they have a niche. They've carved out a space where they've got, products that fit a certain category or something like that. And like, you kind of got to do some of that as well. I think just, throwing the kitchen sink at the market is not the right move. Again, I want to be careful about being dogmatic. That's my opinion. How's the success rate you've seen on Amazon Shine On? Well, I will tell you that at Shine On, we eat our own dog food here. So we have our own internal brands that sell our own products. That's, we do that so we can stay up to date on what's working in the market, what's selling, what's hot, all that stuff. And we have our own brand that we sell Shine On products to Amazon or on Amazon with. And we do pretty good. I mean, it's a brand we've had up for several years. It's been profitable every single year. Again, your mileage may vary. I don't want to give you the impression that if you sell on Amazon, your success is guaranteed or anything like that. But we've done decent with it. We've also got some Amazon training. I believe it's on YouTube. So if you go to our YouTube channel and you look around for Amazon, I think you'll find it. And I'm pretty sure we are very transparent with the strategy we use in that training as well. Having jewelry gifts on my store as well as apparel and home decor sometimes make me think it's not niche focused or niche. Look, it kind of depends. Like if you're in the family gifting space and every single item is like focused in that space and it feels kind of cohesive, you might be okay. But if the niches are all over the place and the colors are varied and like I'm trying to put into words, like here's the tough part for me. I've developed a little bit of an intuition around like brands, and I've developed some personal taste around brands from my experience buying, from my experience as the CEO of Shine On, from my experience being a merchant, from my experience in marketing, right? So I'm struggling a little bit because I have this feeling about a thing, and I'm trying to find the right words for it. Like there are different ways to tie a brand together, right? So you could pick, like, pretend you have a brand that just focuses on hiking, right? Well, if it's just on hiking, the like hiking is suddenly becomes the thing that all your products and everything can kind of orbit around. So it's like all of your products, if they have hiking related phrases and things like that, you're probably good. And then you can have t-shirts and maybe a canvas and a keychain and mugs and all this stuff, right? Because hiking is like the theme that everything kind of orbits around. Another thing you could do is you could do like gifts for kids, and then it's like you could have our jigsaw puzzle on there, and then you could have acrylic night lights, and you could maybe do canvas, because like if you had kid themed kind of canvas items, and like you could have a variety of products again, because it's like you're focused on like gifting to kids, if that makes sense. So they're different. It's tough, like think of Spencer's Gifts. Spencer's Gifts it's a novelty store. So it's full of like, look it up online if you're not familiar with this one, because this is like a US based thing. But Spencer's Gift is like a novelty store. It's just full of like kind of like gadgets that have some kind of wow factor to them. Like Spencer's Gifts is like, it is like a real life version of a drop shipping store, right? If that makes sense. So my point where I'm headed is like there are different ways you can tie a brand together, but like you need to, like it needs to be tied around something, and if you can do that, you can create a coherent like brand experience for the buyer, and then you're good. But if you just have like a random assortment of stuff and people can't like figure out what the hell your store is about, that's when you run into problems. Like hopefully this is making sense. It's kind of tough to articulate that fully. I'd almost need to spend like an hour like really organizing my thoughts and kind of running through it in almost an academic way to like really create a good lesson around that. And by the way, if you guys want me to do that, I will. Let me know in the chat. But hopefully that makes sense. Let me know. All right, let's keep going. We'll do, I don't know, maybe 3 more. We'll wrap this up. Let's see how it goes. It's very hard to have Shine On products mixed with other vendors because you cannot get the pages to match up and it looks really bad. Any advice? I'm not sure I follow, because we have app extensions. So like you can use the default product pages from your theme, and then use the app extensions to add like the extra fields that our product page might need. Like, so the jewelry has the metal selection, and then the gift box selection. If it's a name necklace, you can use app extensions to drag that in. So like with app extensions now, things look basically the same. But I'm going to say one more thing, and that is, this may not be as big of a problem as you think it is, because most of your buyers, especially if you're running ads, they're only hitting one product page, and they're making all of their buying decisions around like landing on the one page you're driving your traffic to and then bouncing. Like most people are not going to be shopping. Now, you might be doing something different than what is the norm. So you might be running ads to collection pages or something like that where people are kind of shopping around, but most of the time they aren't. They're landing on a single product page, they make a decision, they bounce, right? Most people are not shopping around, so they're not going to experience that the pages being a little they're not going to experience that the way you are because you're in there every day crawling around a bunch of pages, right? So maybe keep that in mind. I have trouble logging into my Shine On account. Email support, support at shineon.com. Email support, they can help you out. Already tried to answer that one. I started with Adrian when you were on his trainings. You're awesome, Lori. Welcome to the light side. You helped me. I sent that before you. Oh, thank you. Great, Vivian. Glad to hear that. Takeaway 4 might mean to build a store that looks like an established brand, looks clean, simple. Yeah, exactly. Spencer's gift still open? Maybe not. I don't know. I remember there was one in a mall, and as a kid, I loved the store. I wanted to go into it all the time. So, because they just had these cool little gadgets in there, you know. Yes, do it please. Oh, is this for the brand? Hey, if you guys want me to do like a whole session on building a good print-on-demand brand, let me know, and I can maybe do that. Let's see. Who can I reach out to disable personalization without disconnecting Shine? Disable personal without disconnecting Shine from. Reach out to live chat support. They'll help you out. Training on the use of app extensions would be good and important. Dang, I think that's a really good point. Do we not have anything already? Hang on, help. Let's see what we got here. So this is I'm at help.shineon.com. This is our knowledge base. So let's see what we have for app extensions. So this was 8 months ago. It was about the time we moved to app extensions. Okay, so this is about how to set up looks as an app extension in the theme. Okay, so we do have something there. Let's look at this. Another one. We got Luke's. Okay, not sure what's going on there. Shopify theme app extensions overview. Here we go. So it looks like we have some knowledge-based stuff, but yeah, it'd probably be better if we had some videos, huh? But if you can see this screenshot, maybe I'll pop it into a new tab. It's a little big now, isn't it? Okay, here we go. If you see this screenshot here, when you're in your theme editor, so like if you go to Shopify, gosh dang it, I think it's appearance, and then you go to customize the theme, you're going to land in a page that looks like this. And if you choose your product page up here in the selector, you're going to have this list of menu items down the left-hand side of the screen, which should roughly correlate with what you see on the right side of your screen. And you're going to have this little add block button here. And if you click add block, you'll get this pop-up. And if you choose apps here, you're going to see app extensions. And then what you can do, oh, shoot. Dang it. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. Can everybody see it now? So first of all, if you go to help.shineon.com, you'll come here. This is our knowledge base, right? And if you type app extensions in the search, you'll get everything we've made for app extensions. And so I found this article here. Actually, it was this article here, is Shopify theme app extensions. And I started crawling through this and I found this screenshot, which I have pulled up here. Okay, everybody's with me now. So what I'm saying is, if in Shopify, if you go to appearance and then you go to customize theme, you're going to land on a page like this. If you choose a default product page up here in the top, it'll take you to, like, it'll refresh the screen and you'll have a list of like menu items over here on the left. And those should roughly correspond to what you see on the right-hand side of the screen. And if you go to add block and then you choose apps from this little pop-up window here, you'll see all of Shine-On's app extensions, and you can add those to your page. And then you can even drag and drop them and move them around. So at any rate, I do agree that a video would probably be better here. Okay. Sorry I wasn't sharing my screen. I just kind of got lost there for a minute. Okay. Can we get an app extension seat? Yeah, we'll figure that out. Okay. It's in the first sale challenge course. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Stephanie. That's a great point. Are there any sample packs we can buy from Shine-On for testing? Yeah, if you go to is it Shine-On sample kits? Yeah, you can go to Shine-On sample kits and you can buy a sample kit for $40. If you sign up for Empire Builder, gosh dang it, I keep forgetting to share my screen. There you go. ShineOnSampleKits.com is this. You can buy a sample kit for $40. If you sign up for Empire Builder, we'll send you a free sample kit. So it's $40 if you want to buy. If you sign up for Empire Builder for a month, you'll get a sample kit for free. Something to think about. Okay. I think we're going to wrap this up. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think I kind of got through all the questions. Was this helpful today? Was this helpful? Did you enjoy today's session? Do you want more like this? Do you want one on branding? Let me know in the chat here how things went today. Let me know in the chat how things went today. Yes, thank you. Oh, yeah. You got it. Great info. Great. Glad you're learning. Someone wants one on branding. Yes, on branding. I'm going to need to see more on branding, I think, to create a whole video on it. Anyone else having issues? Hey, I appreciate it. You're awesome. It's easy to do for you. Got to find a lot of folks out here. All right. Hey, I appreciate you all very much. Okay, let's move to wrap this up. Do I have any more slides? I do have a little bit. Let's pull it up. There we go. Okay. All right. Appreciate you all very much. Do me a favor. If you're not in Pod University, make sure you go sign up for it. There's tons of training in there, tons of education, free designs. There's all kinds of we have built one of the coolest resources in print on demand in Pod University. I'd love to see you all take advantage of that. Make sure you get the app from the App Store. This is what it looks like. It's that little icon. Go into the App Store, look for Pod University, download the app. It's free. And then you get to take advantage of all that cool stuff on the go. How cool is that? If you're not in the Facebook group, make sure you go sign up for the Facebook group. We have the best poppin' print-on-demand e-commerce community on the planet. You can find it on Facebook. If you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you go to the YouTube channel. Check us out there. And then if you need any help at all, help.shineon.com is the place to be. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Until next time, happy selling. Take care.